Okay, so in our last class, we have created this project, simple freestyle project that's called my Java project. And here we had seen how we can integrate the Java project from the GitHub repo, get the URL and integrate it and build the project. Simple things we had done the building the project. Okay. Yes. So here in this project, how, suppose there is a question for you guys. If I want to modify this job or project, how I'll do that? Yeah, I want to modify the project. I want to see what is written inside the project freestyle job. How I'll do that?
Using configure.
Yeah. Why so delay, guys? You should directly tell, right? Configure it.
Yes, configure.
Take the project and configure it, right? When I configure, I'll see the entire details of the project setup, project integration, what are the things being written for this project, right? Everything we can find it here.
Yeah.
So you can see here also. Remember, whenever you're doing real-time project, you will see here how without knowing the project code, without knowing the things, if you know the jobs alone, you can, from the job, you can find all the details, project repository, URL, everything. Okay. Now we have this repository, and if you just copy this and open it, and it will take me to the repository, right? See, it will take me to the repository. There was wave. See, directly put me the repository. Now, if I go there, and these credentials are there and all, so one second. Okay, so if I go here and check the details, like build triggers and all these details are there. Suppose, and here we have given the build step, local maven and clean package only for building, right? Now we have this post build actions. Actually, we have given to archive the artifact. So what we did here, we did this integration and we just archived the artifact here. Okay. The next step, what we need that to be deployed to a Tomcat server. We need that to be deployed in a Tomcat server. How we'll do that? We did so far is continuous integration. We did all the kind of setups, tools, and do all the setups. Now we want to deliver this to our staging platform. So how we will do that, right? Now, let me show you. Before that, I'm just writing something. It came to my mind to do some changes. Okay, what was the 1 second? Okay, so what we need, we have to deliver this one. Okay, now you remember I had sent you one documentations like the Java installations, Git installations, Maven installations. Also, along with we have the Tomcat installations also. So for Tomcat installations, it's very simple, guys. Okay, so how we'll do, I'll show you 1 second. Let me just open that documentations. Okay, let me just open this documentation. So if I go here and check the installations of Tomcat, okay, install Tomcat. Follow the steps here, okay. So what we have done here, simply downloading the Tomcat version. So I'll just explain you in details in depth from the scratch so that you can able to understand. Okay. Now I have to log into my I have logged into my Jenkins server. Let's go to the okay. This is not required into the Jenkins server. So what we need Tomcat to be this Tomcat to be installed in a different server, and we want to deliver the WAR file or the end product to the Tomcat server. Okay, so quickly let me just go ahead and get another server, which let me see if anything running. Okay, I don't have anything running. Let me. I have some Terraform code. I'm just using this Terraform to spin up a server in the AWS. Okay. So instead, what I would have done, we have just go here and select manually launch instances and all create. But I just executed the Terraform code to create a server for me. So this Terraform things will learn in our class. Don't worry. Okay.
It means it is automatically creating the server
Yes, it is
through the
automatically.
code.
Yes, it automatically creating the server. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So you can see here, it's created and we got the IP address, this one. Now we have our server created. So if I go here and refresh, we'll have this instances running. See, it's now running. Okay. Now we have this IP address, public IP address. Now let me go with this. Okay. And connect to the server. I'll do SSH. Done. I just connected to the node, to the server where to the Tomcat server where I want my product to be deployed or delivered, my application to be deployed or delivered. So what I need, I just went there. I need to install the Tomcat server. Okay, let's go to CD OPT folder. I am into the OPT folder, and here let me just download this one, copy this, and remember here I have a space which will cause problem. Hit enter. So what does it just downloaded a tar file, which is the compressed and archive file. Okay, if I check here, we have this tar file in this OPD folder. I have this tar file available. Let me untar it first. So for that, I can just use sudo tar hyphen xvjf xvjf. Okay, give the so it untarred everything and created in a folder. So this is the folder name. Let's rename this folder. Okay. Sudo mb. I can give as Tomcat. Then Tomcat. Okay. So my Tomcat server, here Tomcat install. So there are few steps I have given here. See all these things what I just performed. Okay. Now to modify the user, you have to create one user to that. Okay. So for that, you can just open this config tomcat user.xml file. Okay. That file will be opt tomcat folder. We have another folder conf, and we have this tomcat-users.xml file. Hit enter. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to just update the create and give a role and username. Okay. We have to give a username to this. Go there. Okay. So, and here we have to simply put it here. I'm not going to edit anything or change anything. I'll do something. I'll just copy this one of the things I've written here. Simply put it there. Put it here, but here we have something last script manager script. Username is Tomcat, password secret. I'm giving. Okay. It's not equal. If you manually connect to this things is equal. I'm showing you how we can set up this username and password. Sometimes if you're working on the Tomcat server, you may get questions on this. Okay. And how to change the port number. Change the port number. So why we need to change this port number, guys? Remember. So what is the default port of Jenkins?
8080.
Okay. The same 8080 also the default port of Tomcat server. Default port of Tomcat server. And we have already the port 8080 is being provided for Jenkins. The same port cannot be provided for Tomcats. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to simply change the port number. Okay. Either you can change the port number for Jenkins or change the port number for Tomcat server. So for Tomcat server, you have to go to this config folder and server.xml file will be there. The same thing, let's go to this particular config folder, cd, go here, and we have this Tomcat user.xml, which I updated now. Let's go and get the server.xml file. This is where within the Tomcat server normally we work. So I'm giving some ideas on the Tomcat server to you also. Okay. Let's sudo vi goes, and if I go 8080, see this is the port 80, default port is 8080. So what we can do, we can modify that to 8282. We can modify this to 8282. Okay, now what I do, let's modify it to 8282. Then save changes. Then now what I can do, modify it, and same thing also, you have to, the port number 8282, you have to also whitelist here. You have to also whitelist here. So what I can do, I can simply go to the security, okay, and to the security group. And in this security group, we have only port 22 is whitelisted, but 8282 is not there. So what I can do, I can just go here, custom TCP, put 8282, public, save rules. Then our custom TCP 8282 is given. Now, Tomcat server, how will access the Tomcat server? If I just go to and fetch the IP address, okay, fetch the IP address here, details, IP address, go here, put it, and the port number is 8282. Hit enter. So the site cannot be reached. So what is the problem? We already have whitelisted, but still the site is not be reached. That means we have not started the Tomcat server yet. So we have to start the Tomcat server. So to start the Tomcat server, you have to go to the previous directory, pwd. In the Tomcat folder, we have bin folder will be there. Bin. Go to cd bin. This is manually I'm starting. Automatic way I'll show you differently. Okay. and we have this catalina.sh. This catalina.sh is for Unix and Linux platform, and we have this catalina.bat file also will have, which will use for different. This is all. Let's see. We have this bat file, right? Catalina.bat. So this is for Windows one. So we have to execute this one. So we can do catalina.sh start. Neither Java home, Jerry home environment variables defined. So we have to use sudo catalina. Good. Remember, what is the problem here? What is the problem here?
We need to do it using super user, switch user.
I already used sudo, right? Super user.
Then
it clearly shows we have not set up the Java. So this is a Tomcat server is built in Java again. And to use the Tomcat server, you must have Java installed. Okay. You must have Java installed. So if I do Java version, we will not have any Java installed here. Okay. So let's install the Java. Okay. Let's install the Java. So we have this Java installation page here also, right?
Same thing you can do, right? What you did for that.
Yeah. So, let's do Java. So now the Java installation is done. Okay, if I do Java version, we have Java 1.8 available. Okay, now do Catalina start. Okay, so you can see here now the Catalina started, Tomcat started.
Yes.
Okay, now if I go here, just refresh this page. See, our Apache Tomcat server is up and running. Tomcat server is up and running. Okay, so what you will do that here? Everything is good and running, right? Now I need to deploy my application. The requirement is to build the basic, very basic. I'm starting with very basic requirement as a DevOps engineer. The developer wants you to build the application and deploy it to the staging server or to a Tomcat server. Okay, testing server, Tomcat testing server. So what you'll do? We have this project. We have written to build it in Maven. Building is being done here. Okay, and what do we need? We need to put it here. What do we need? We need to add another post build action to be there. The first post build action I have added supposed to archive the artifacts. It's just archiving the artifacts. What is the artifacts? So I'm giving you very basic to advanced things, and each and everything, whatever I'm coming across in the class room, I'm just asking you. You should be from your side, should ask, what is artifacts? What is the artifacts?
Package, right?
Yes. It is a package. It's being built and generated out of this project build, right? So it is, you can say it's a binary file. The artifact is the end product. It's the binary file. It's the package, binary package, which you need to be delivered to some server or somewhere. The artifact. So where the artifact stored, actually it is stored in the artifactory. Artifactory. Okay. Now this is the artifact. I'm going to archive it. Okay. One post build action we did, archived it. Another post build action I need to deploy into the Tomcat server. You can find it here. One option available, deploy var here to a container. What do you have to do? You have to just select this one. Okay, you have to just select this one. 1 second, guys. So what we need, we have to deploy this to Tomcat server. Okay, so here what we need to deploy, what is the var file? So we can give */*.var file. The context path. What is the context path? Path that container should use to publish the var node that is not may get overwritten if the var deployed to as container specific. So if you want to provide this context path, you can provide it. If not, you can leave it. Okay. Now you have to select the server. So for us, what is the Tomcat server we installed? We installed the Tomcat 7, I think, right? We installed Tomcat 7. Now, if you have to select the Tomcat server here, what happened? It's stuck. Let's add that to var file. Star. So we have Tomcat 7, select Tomcat 7. Now the credentials. Okay, so we have to use Tomcat credentials, right? So you know how to add the credentials. So you can click it here, Jenkins. Okay, suppose we have created the username and password, right? So username with password. So go to the username. Username we had given as Tomcat, right? So if I go here and just config and you do this Tomcat user, we had created the user ID and password, right? So we have the user ID is Tomcat and password, sorry, user ID is Tomcat and password is secret, right? So
Yeah.
to provide this password, we have given Tomcat and select this password, create an ID name like staging Tomcat server. Same thing, I can give it here also. Staging Tomcat server. We give the password, username, add it. So if I select it here, so we have this staging Tomcat server, right? Select this one, staging Tomcat server. Done. Now Tomcat URL. So what is this Tomcat URL? You have to copy this one, the server name, the server, the IP address, and the complete details you have to provide. The IP address from here, and you have to colon 8282. This is the server. Okay, done. All done. You just leave this context path, it will override automatically. Now save it. Done. Okay, what we can do here, we have, let's go and check the configuration again. Okay, what it did, we have two steps, post build action. One is to archive, another one is to deploy to var. Deploy the var to the container, to the Tomcat server. Okay, now let's go to the my Java project and build it. It's now building. Let's wait for it for some time. Build is success. Now it's deploying. See, now successfully deployed the var file into the Tomcat server. Okay, so if I go to this project here, I can see here the third build is success. Okay, now if I go to the Tomcat server in the backend, right? The default folder, the root folder of the Tomcat server is for the application is web apps. Tomcat, go to web apps, and here we'll see the DevOps wave, the var file is already deployed. See DevOps web app work. What is the DevOps web app? If you see and check the logs, right? If you see the logs, in the as part of the build, it will generate file called DevOps web.work. This is the end product. This is the artifact. This artifact has been now deployed to the web app folder. Deployed to the web app folder. Okay. Now, if I go here and check web app folder, okay, it has been deployed. And now, if I go and check here the application, whether it is accessible or not, simply go here and just put DevOps wave. See, DevOps class is updated. Now let's do some changes, code changes. Now all your DevOps work is done. Now this the development has changed some code there. In the repository, they might have changed some code. So which branch we have given it here? We have given the branch. We have given the, which branch we have given? 1 second. We have given the branch. Go to the configure here. First, find out which branch is given, and that branch has to modify it. Okay. The code, if you want to change, the developer has to work on this particular branch. So we have given, I think, master branch, right? We had given the master branch, I believe. Go to the build section. Okay, build step here. And yeah, we have given the master branch. Let me modify something in the master branch. Okay, so if I go here, we have 18 branches. We have 18 branches, right? Let's modify something in the source code. I'm going to modify something. Go to the web apps, and here template.html. Suppose I'm modifying something here. Suppose I'll give as batch 7 version 2.7, something like this. I gave some changes to the code I did, right? The developer did. I'm not DevOps engineer. I'm updating it as a developer. There is a requirement to change the code. So developer did the code changes. Your work is done. You did the Jenkins setup and handed over to the development team. This is how we work in the company. Okay, we handed over the team. So the team has changes something. They will simply come to the code here. Come to the. They don't have to do anything, any setups here. They simply have to, after changing the code in the repository, updating into the repository or required code changes, after the required code changes, they can come here and simply build the project. That's all. They don't have to do anything. Simply build the project. Done. It is success now. So what you can do, the developer now updated body, started the build, automatically the build is success. If you want to test it, if refresh this page, see, it has been now changed to the code by 7.2.7. Okay, this is how it works actually. This is how end-to-end a developer, a DevOps engineer do the setups on the Jenkins. Guys, whatever I'm telling you from the scratch, you have to be doing the same things or even better, more than that. To be familiar with, Jenkins has high demand in the market. At least be mastering at least 2 to 3 tools, not more than that. And you'll get definitely been stick into the market and definitely get good projects and good job. Okay.
Okay.
Now, what we did, we manually build something, right? We manually build something. Now, let me do how automatically the build will be triggered. Automatic build trigger. Okay. So how we'll do that? Simply select the project, configure it.
Configure.
Yeah. So we have the build trigger option. We have the build trigger option. How you want the job or project to be built, to be triggered. Click on the build trigger. Here we have different options. Trigger build remotely, that is from script. Build after other projects are built. Build periodically, Github hook trigger, poll mailbox trigger, poll SCM trigger. What are these things? If you want your project to be triggered remotely by a script, you can select this one and provide the authentication token of the server where you want the project to be there and to be executed. The other one is build after the projects are built. If you select it, you must have the other projects which dependent on this project. This project is dependent on that project. That means that once that project is complete, then this part build will start. This is the one. Another thing is build periodically. You have to schedule how you want. Github work, which is mostly used by all the companies, that is Github hook. Also, we have a separate class in this hook. I'll show you how we can do maybe tomorrow class. Okay. So the other one is the poll mailbox. That is also being done whenever we can trigger the jobs from the mailbox itself. You don't have to do anything. That also I'll show you. And also we have this poll SCM. I'll show you from the basic, from the poll SCM, then I'll show you hook. Then I'll go to the mailbox trigger. And these things is not required. Okay. These three things I'll tell you. One is the poll SCM. What is this poll SCM? Poll SCM means poll source code management.
Source code management.
So it will be automatically, if you remember, if you guys know about the cron job. So Murthy may be aware about the cron job and batch job. He is dealing on these things mostly. Batch job and cron jobs. So this poll SCM works in the cron jobs setups. Okay. So what is this cron job setups? If I click on this question mark things, right, help feature, it will give you the complete details about the poll SCM. Open this documentations and you'll find how this is being worked. Okay. And nothing is given here. Config Jenkins, so note this is going to be an expensive operations for CVS, as every polling requires Jenkins to scan the entire workspace. So it is difficult. Earlier it was giving, but now it is not giving all the how you have to write this poll SCM. What instead, what is saying, consider the setting of a push trigger. Push trigger. What is this? We can use this GitHub hook trigger. Okay. Now, what is if I select this poll SCM? It is, as I said, it is a cron job, cron schedule. So you have to schedule the job. If I select it here, it will give you how you have to schedule. See, that is a very long page. It has how you have to use the scheduler. This is a cron scheduler. Okay. That means how you have to schedule the job in which interval. Okay. So, sorry. You have to just go through this and see how it works. But for the time being, I'm just giving you, suppose I'll give start. Again, start. 5 stars, I gave it here. Now, if you see here, each star has a meaning, right? The first one is minute, hour. Second one is hour. The third one is DOM. DOM means date, day of month, then day of week. Hour, day of month, sorry, minute, hour, day of month, and day of week. Here I gave 5-star means every minute, the source code management will get scanned. That means your repository, GitHub repository will get scanned. And if it finds anything available, it will start the building. Okay, now I do the changes here in the, now save it, saved. Okay, so we have set up first every 1 minute interval it will be triggered, every 1 minute interval. Okay, so now it will be scanning the source code management. Now it will be scanning the GitHub repository for any changes in the code. If it finds any changes, then it will automatically get triggered. Now our last build was 4th build. We have not done any changes. Now let's go ahead and quickly do some changes to the code. Okay, suppose I'll do 2.7.1. 2.7.1. Previous version was 2.7. Now I added 2.7.1. This was just a demo. Okay, commit the changes. Now I updated some changes. I did some changes in my code in the repository. Just wait for 1 minute and notice here, within 1 minute or after 1 minute, one build will automatically get triggered. A build will automatically get triggered. Okay, just wait for a few seconds or a few minutes. The 5th build will start automatically. I'm just muting it 1 second. See, now you can see here, automatically starting. I did not do anything, right? Automatically, within 1 minute interval time, it started. Okay.
Yes.
Now it is success. If I go to this application, 2.7 was there, right? If I refresh it, see. So I did not manually build anything, right?
Yes.
It automatically done. So we have other option available. Okay, that is called GitHub hook trigger. What is webhook? We already have seen this webhook in our GitHub, right? In our GitHub, we have already seen the webhook. So what is this webhook? And how we set up this webhook? Okay, now if I go, let's go to the repository here. Suppose I want to add a webhook in this repository. Go to this settings here. Okay, you can see one option is called webhook, right? Click on this. That is already webhook is set up here. And you have to, if modify, you have to give authentication. I have set up multi-factor authentication here. Nine 6 3. Okay. So it is modified here. Okay. Now, if you see this payload URL, what is this payload URL? The payload URL is nothing but your Jenkins URL. You have to provide the Jenkins URL here. Now, if you see here, I had given the previous old Jenkins URL. Now my Jenkins URL has changed to this one, right? Copy this entire thing. Go to this webhook, remove this, paste it here. Now what happened? Remember, you have to write like the server, the IP address here or the server name. For my case, I have the server name here. Now, port number 8080, what is port number you use? And you have to use this API, GitHub-webhook. This is the API you have to use, GitHub-webhook and /. So once you do it, update or create a new webhook. So for your case, you have to create a new webhook. Okay, it will be same thing. Just give the payload URL. Okay, and send me everything. Done. So if I do here, recent deliveries today, right? The delivery whose happens, something is failed to connect the host. Could not deliver this payload, failed to connect to the host. Okay. So what is that? Anyway, that is the old one, which 11/29 it was started. We updated now the things. Okay. Now go to the job. So we updated the webhook in the particular repository. I updated the webhook. Now what I have to do? Go to the project, configure here, and here what you have to do, you have to simply change or add the trigger option here. Suppose I don't want poll SCM. So in this poll SCM, what is the minimum interval time, waiting interval time?
1 minute.
1 minute. So 1 minute you have to wait to execute, and it also what it does, every 1 minute it will scan the repository, which is costly, which is expensive. And suppose what we need when we need this poll source code management, sometimes what happens, you need some jobs to be built at night. After everything is done, you can set up night, or if you want to build this weekly once, or if you want to build this monthly once, or only weekend, right? You can do the required setups by using poll SCM. But if you use GitHub hook trigger, the webhook, what it will do, as soon as the developer do any changes to the code and commit or push, what will happen? Automatically the build will be triggered from the GitHub itself. GitHub API will trigger the build and the Jenkins will receive it and start building. Let's do the demo here. So I selected GitHub hook trigger. Okay, save changes. I did the changes, right? Nothing has happened yet. So let's go ahead and hear everything. Let's go ahead and change the code. Suppose I want to do some changes in the code. Let's do some changes. Suppose let me add 2.2 here, and just an example of webhook. Its webhook is there, right? If I go here, it's giving. Okay. Apps for DevOps class, and DevOps class is fine. That's good. And I can just do fine. So I just added a version 2.7.2, which earlier it was 2.7.1. Do changes. See, the job 5th was there, right? See, immediately I just updated, I just committed the code here. Within the fraction of second, automatically the build triggered. This
Instantly.
Instantly. If you want instantly the build to be started within the fraction of seconds, immediately after the code changes is done, you go with the GitHub hook. That is where most important, and question will be, they will ask. So you need to understand what is your requirement first. You need to understand what is your requirement. whether you want that to be run immediately, instantly after the code is changed, or you need that to be built theoretically, like sometimes in the evening or sometimes afternoon or sometimes weekend once or weekly once or monthly once or whatever time if you specify, you can go for PoleSCM. Okay, now the sixth build has triggered. If I go and refresh, it will be now 2.7.2. See, right? If I give something here, hello Ranjit, happy learning. Go home. Okay, this is what we have to do that. Okay, so hope everything is clear. Do you have any doubt on the things and all?
No, fine, Jay.
No,
No?
not doubt when we, I mean, when I practice at the time, it will, I mean, some problem.
Exactly. When you do practice, that time only you will able to do that things. Okay, so that's all, guys. I don't want to burden you more on this, and also meantime we have to also fast forward the courses. So be with me, and whatever things I'm teaching you, just try to practice immediately. Okay, try to practice immediately and see what is happening. And tomorrow classes we will see other advances things in the Jenkins. Also we'll see whatever things we have learned so far is the freestyle things, freestyle jobs. The pipeline, the full automation is yet to come. That time also you have to, if you don't complete these freestyle jobs and see how the jobs working and all, then you'll again struggle to find it out the pipeline jobs. There are multiple other things, advanced things in the Jenkins, which I would also teach you. I will teach you, and you have to learn it for your advancement or future, or for your get it mastery in these areas. Okay. That's all, guys, for today's class. So let's meet up tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.